all these deck boxes. What deck am I gonna make today? That's what I'm gonna do. Do a deck profile of these bad boys. What's up, guys? It's your boy Vic. I hope y'all heard me loud enough. I've been working on improving my videos. Yesterday was Valentine's Day, so I didn't put any videos up at all because it's Valentine's Day, you know. My girl didn't want me doing any videos or anything like that, you know, but it's all good, you know what I'm saying, because it's Valentine's Day, you know what I'm saying. I hope all y'all had a good Valentine's Day, and for those who don't have a significant other, I hope you still enjoyed your day. But now to get into this spicy deck profile, came up with it real quick. I think it's built pretty consistently because for those who don't know, Monarchs aren't very consistent at all whatsoever. So I built this Monarch deck to be pretty consistent, but the fact of, you know, it's a floodgate. You already know, stops the extra deck, stops effects, and you basically beat over your opponent. Well, that's what I built this deck about, alright guys? So I'm about to get into this deck profile. Check it out. Alright guys, so here's the monster lineup. I got one Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. I only play one because she is limited. And for those who know, yes, I do check the ban list. I did mess up on 2 deck profiles, but that's fine. I'm gonna fix them, you know. I do these decks really fast, thinking about what I can do with them, what would make them, what would improve them, what not. So I'll be fixing them. But 2 Erebus, the Underworld Monarch, Savage. He's the Savage. For those who don't know, basically you could tribute him by tributing 1 tributed monster, bring him to the field, and you could send 2 Monarch spell attack cards with different names from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, shuffle 1 card from your opponent's hand at random, graveyard, or the side of the field into the deck. Once returned during any of the player's main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard 1 Monarch spell attack card, then target 1 monster in your graveyard with 2400 or more attack and defense added to your hand. And you can use that effect to bring him back to your hand himself. 1 Karaz, the Light Monarch, because why not? This deck plays a lot of continuous spells and trap cards, continuous scrap cards as well. You could pop 2 of your continuous spell trap cards just to remove them and draw 2 cards. And now for the little Monarchs. 3 Adia, the Heavenly Monarch, Heavenly Squire. Savage. You can normal summon her. If she's normal special summon, you can special summon a monster with 800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck and defense position, except herself. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the rest of the turn, which is why I run no extra deck monsters in this deck whatsoever. 3 Eidos. Now, for those who know, this was the original lineup of monsters when the structure deck first came out. You ran 3 Adia, 3 Eidos, and that was pretty much it. Then you ran the big boys. But this is what I'm running. Now, to switch it up, for the monsters that are not Monarchs or Squires, 1 Masterpiece, because this deck revolves around tribute summoning. I only have 1 Masterpiece, so I'm running him at 1. I don't want to play too many big bosses in this deck, you know, to make this deck, I should say, more fluid, so I don't run into too many big ones and I don't run into too many small ones. 1 Ignis, the True Draco Warrior, running him because he's 2,400 attack, 1,000 defense. You could search him with Return to Monarchs, and he just runs with the build itself. And you could get a continuous spell card, True Draco or True King continuous spell card from your deck to your hand, either activate it or add it to your hand. That's why I run him in here. 1 Majesty Maiden, the True Draco caster, because she's a tribute monster. But not only that, but just because of the fact that this deck has a lot of continuous spell cards and continuous trap cards, so that she could search for any of your True Draco monsters, which you play her, you already know, you're going to search into Masterpiece. Now, for the other monsters that are not even True Draco or Monarchs, 2 Blue Boys, because why not? Run the Blue Boy engine. You already know the Spellbook engine. I like to call it the Blue Boy engine. If I'm correct, that was 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep, 15 monsters. Now for the spells, I apologize, I just burped. Now for the spells, 3 of the most, I should say, one of the best field spells in the game, hands down. As long as you have a true summon monster on the field, you shut down your opponent's extra deck. And you already know, extra decks are so vital in this format right now. I think that this deck is still relevant as long as you're able to make it fluid enough. As a matter of fact, one of the decks that topped up my locals multiple times is actually a Monarch deck. Who's the guy, I really don't know, but I'm going to end up, challenging him, see what's up, you know what I'm saying? But, to search out the field spell, 2 terraforming. It's at 2 because, deck thinning purposes. But not only that, I didn't want to just draw into terraforming. I want to make sure that I have other draw power in this deck as well. So, and other sources in this deck to make this deck run a little better. 2 tenacity. You already know this searches out for your Monarch spell or trap cards as long as you reveal a Monarch with 2400 and 1000 defense. A 2400 attack and 1000 defense, or 2800 attack and 1000 defense from your hand, and basically add 1. Sitting on 1 return. I was gonna play 2, but you really don't need to. You're only running 15 cards that are monsters, so, and you already know just like a little bit that are searchable with this. 1 Pantheism, because you run a lot of the Monarch spell and trap cards. 1 Foolish Burial. That way you could Foolish Bury your Adia or Eidos. They serve different purposes. 1 Monster Reborn, because it's limited now. Why not? 1 for 1. You want to go into your Adia. 1 Rhoda. You want to go into your Adia. Monarch Stormforth. You contribute your opponent's own cards. 1 Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix, because you're running True Draco cards. You want to make it, I only have 3 True Draco monsters, so one way or another, if they get rid of a Masterpiece, I want Masterpiece back. You want to get him right back. 1 True Draco Heritage. They're at 1 and 1 in this deck because there's so many other purposes for the other cards that I just want to make sure one way or another I have access to any of the other ones, which can lead you to other options to get out of certain things or whatnot. 3 Spellbook of Secrets. For those who don't know, not only is Blue Boy the spellcaster in this deck, there's 2 of him, but Eidos, the Underworld Squire, 800 attack, 1000 defense. He's the one that gives you an additional normal summoner set. Long story short, he is also a spellcaster, and I run 3 of him, so. And 2 Spellbook of Knowledges. Draw power, draw power, draw power, draw power. Deck thinning and draw power. Because Pantheism's at 1, I want to make sure that I get to the other cards one way or another in this deck. Now for the traps, I only run 5 traps. That was 20 spells. 2 Monarchs Erupt. You want to negate your opponent's effect monsters' effects. You don't want them to have any way around any of your cards that you're going to play. You want to shut them down. You want to have the Monarch spell card, the field spell, Domain of the Monarchs, and you want Monarchs Erupt on the field. You can shut everything down. Almost. They can still play spells or traps, but still. Prime Monarch, because it's limited. 1 True Draco Apocalypse. 1 True Draco Return. True King's Return. Apologize. Bleh. Because just in case if he dies, you want to make sure you can bring him back one way or another. That's been 8 minutes. about to do some test hands. We're bad hand. What would have been the next card? That, bad hand. That power shuffle was horrible. About to work on that.
Raz, Blue Boy, 1-for-1, Prime Monarch, and Fool's Barrel. Fool's Barrel.
Eidos. Blue Boy. Blue Boy's effect. Secrets. Here's the deck thinning. I need to get new sleeves for this deck. I got a pack of new sleeves I got from the regional. They're the Hypermat sleeves. Hypermat mini sleeves. I love those sleeves. I use them on my main deck. It's so beautiful. Secrets. Now this is all off of, you know, basically what if my opponent had nothing to stop anything. So just remember that. I got 20% left on my phone. Mind you guys, I record everything all off of my phone. So if the quality sucks, I'm eventually working on getting a microphone. I plan on actually getting the whole equipment actually for my laptop, so I don't have to use my phone as much for all of this, you know, or, you know, a microphone for my phone, my iPhone, which would be good. So let's see here. Knowledge. Blue Boy sent to grave. Draw 2. Okay, Tenacity, show Karaz. Just for Monarchs, spell a trap card. So this hand was eh. I have options, but I don't. I do. Pantheism. Deck thin. Pantheism. Sim Prime. Send one Monarch, spell a trap card to the grave. Draw 2 cards. 1, 2. I already normal summoned this turn, so I'm actually gonna be doing. This is how we're gonna do this. 1-for-1. So you're gonna 1-for-1 your Adia. Actually, no. First, you're going to activate Pantheism. Banish Pantheism from grave. Reveal 3 Monarch spell trap cards from your deck. Your opponent chooses one of them, add them to your hand. I already activated Tenacity this turn, so I cannot activate Tenacity again. So, at this point, this is when you give your opponent almost no options to do anything. You want to... Actually, I could have just did this. Instead of the Monarchs Erupt, I'm just going to do what I used to do. And you already know, a lot of people are like, that you dueled against that were like, oh, I revealed 3 Monarch spell trap cards. And if they didn't activate Tenacity that turn, pretty much were like, gosh, 3 Tenacities, or 3 Domain. And you're like, well, you already know. I can't do nothing, so just take one. And you're like, okay. So there's that one. Deck thin, deck thin, deck thin. So then you activate your 1-for-1. Send Adia, because you already got Eidos in grave, right? You special your Adia. I've already won first turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards from grave. But yeah, Adia was special summon, so Adia's effect goes off. You special summon Eidos from deck. Defense position. Cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the rest of this turn. Yada 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 yada. Actually, I was a little delayed, but since Adia was sent to grave, Adia's effect goes off. You get Pantheism back to your hand. Can't activate Pantheism more than one. It's a once per turn effect. And right now you'd be like face down. Face down would be your Monarch Stormforth. And then you want to play Domain. And just to be a jerk, I'd actually play this face down. And let's see. Still have your Prime Monarch in grave. You can target 2 Monarch spell trap cards in your grave. Shuffle them into deck. Actually, that's the other effect. Banish one of the Monarch spell trap card from your graveyard. Special summon this card in defense position. So, let's see, guys. Yeah. I'm gonna banish Tenacity to special Prime. And just because I can and because I want to draw into more cards, I still have an additional normal summon this turn. I'm going to sack Adia because it was in attack mode when I special summoned her. Her effect is once per turn also. So he's normal Karaz. Destroy both of these. Pantheism and Monarch Stormforth. Just because I can. And then I draw 2 cards. And go face down, and that be turn. That was 1 turn, just 1 turn. Let's see what I would have drawn. That's because hypothetically they could get around that very easily, but then you know it'd be like Monarchs Erupt, Karaz gets a 100 boost from the Domain of the Monarchs on my opponent's turn, so the effects were negated. They destroy the easiest thing they could destroy. Eidos, draw a card. Blue boy. Next turn I would have been like normal effect. Add a spell book. Seek knowledge. knowledge. Send the grave. Draw 2. And then there goes your masterpiece. The only masterpiece in here. Or if I would have been smarter, I could have kept, let's say hypothetically, right? Because I drew into these cards. Technically, I could have did this actually. The smarter play would have been, and I would have kept knowledge in hand. These cards are in hand. Well, actually, this card was in here. I drew into secrets, right? I could have banished Eidos. Special summon from grave. Adia. Ooh. I couldn't anyways. But yeah, she special summoned. Because I already went into my 3 Eidos. Then I would just normal, like I said. Bam. Go into knowledge. Knowledge. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to anyways because Monarchs are up on field. So that's that. Actually, Tenacity's in here. Terraforming, Ignis, and Tenacity. Hypothetically, it could be like Tenacity, show Ignis, search for a Monarchs card, spell trap card, return. But at this point, I actually have no more 2400 attack monsters. So technically, if I would have activated that, I should still search for my Erebus's and my Aether. I already normal summon this turn, so I'd be like, pass. They're gonna go right for Adia. Let's say they can. They're gonna go right for Prime. Turn. Another terraforming. They pop the main. I have 2 searches for terraforming. I'd play return. Sack. Psych. No. You'd want to activate Prime. Tenacity. Prime. Sack Prime. Go into Ignis. Because either way they get an 800 boost when you attack with them, so they're technically like 3200 attack when they attack. So that's that hand. That was that little test handle. Let's test another one. Just one more. I got this video a little long, I apologize, but post your opinions down in the comment section down below, guys. Tell me what you think about it. If you have any suggestions, go right ahead. Yeah, I already know somebody's gonna be like, slow down a little bit. Yeah, no, I really gotta slow down a little bit. But this is me just trying to get back into, doing a deck profile and everything, guys. Cause I've had like at least like a 2-day break from doing videos. But I'm probably gonna do a deck profile tomorrow. The deck I'm actually running, I'm gonna be running. I'm at locals Saturday, and I'm gonna put a video up Saturday, just to tell you guys how I did about it. Still not gonna reveal my deck because a lot of people at my locals actually subscribe to my channel, so I don't want them knowing my secret recipe. The only thing they know right now is that I play Pen Magicians, because I mentioned that in a video before. But that's just about it, guys. But thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Don't do anything bad, and I hope you guys have a good night. Peace out.